Hey, hey, good people.
Family, what up, what up?
We about to take the room.
And Booster, baby.
And Juicy.
And Jack.
And Fight on Sight.
Let's
Plus
go.
all of our new herbs, which is Breathe, Pulse, Resist, Snatch, Tough. We taking them all today, as we love to do in the morning before we hit our workout. Look at this.
Yeah, so many.
It's so many capsules, but it's like so many herbs, and every herb has unique properties, just like me and you. And they do, they have special powers that target different things in the body, and we want to be our absolute best selves, which is why we're doing this, which is why we're taking as many herbs as we can, because we can't see inside, we don't know what's going on, and we want to make sure that we're functioning at the very best we can. Okay.
And every time somebody asks me, well, what do I do for erectile dysfunction? What do I do for high blood pressure? What do I do for diabetes? I always tell you to be as aggressive as you can afford to be, because Brandy and I don't have any of those things, right? But you see how many we're taking. We're super aggressive with our health because that's what we can afford to do. So we want you to go as hard as you can afford to go, because that's going to help you get be the best, healthiest version of yourself. And that's what your family deserves. That's what you deserve. That's what the God that created you deserves. So that's why we say do as much as you can afford to do, because that's the ultimate goal, is to be the best version of ourselves. You don't want to go halfway, because then you're going to be half as good. All right. So if you can afford to do, let's say $100 a month, and you only do 50, then you only get half of the results. You only get half as great. So why would you want to do that when you can be better? You want to do better if you can be better.
Or worse, you buy them, but you don't take them.
Oh my God.
Jesus, why? Help me in the midst. That's really bad. But the enemy, he tries to attack you when you're doing good, when you're doing something that's gonna, So we totally understand. We're not downplaying the attacks, but at the same time, you have to let your mind rise above that and know that God made these herbs. This is not something that me and Xavier curated in a lab. Like, all we're doing is grinding them up and putting them together. And we put so many a variety in there so that you could get everything that you need, and also so you don't have to worry about, oh, am I taking too much of this? Am I taking too much of that? Because you're getting a well-balanced meal, so to speak.
So we actually had somebody reach out and tell me that somebody gave them some of our bottles. I'm like, what? Somebody gave this stuff away? Like, you gave it away? Like you didn't, they wasn't blessing you, they just didn't want it? And that was crazy to me. But like Brandy said, the enemy is crazy. The enemy does put crazy thoughts in your brain. The enemy will tell you, oh, this detoxifying process is bad for you. These headaches and stomach aches you have, stomach problems you have, and cold-like symptoms is bad for you. You shouldn't do this. This is not good. This is going to last forever. Well, it don't last forever. You got to get the stuff out. And if you don't get it out, how bad do you think you're going to feel later down the road? So if you don't want to go through temporary discomforts, you're going to go through these permanent discomforts later. And it's the same thing as like working out. All right, you don't want to go through a temporary discomfort so that you can be comfortable later. You don't want to eat a salad because that's temporary discomfort, because you are worried about being comfortable now and not being comfortable throughout your life.
And the crazy thing about it too is that people are so skeptical when we're on here all the time. We're accessible. You cannot get the creators of all these other products on the phone at the grocery store that you're trusting, but you trust it because a store signed off on it. They signed off on the fact that it can make money. They did not sign off on the fact that it's healthy and it's going to really help you. It blows my mind, because when you look at the ingredients of a lot of these other companies, they have conditioners and preservatives and all types of man-made chemicals in their herbs. It's not just herbs. Ours is just herbs. And so, and like I said, if you I can go on and on, but I'm not here to rant. I just want y'all to know that this is pure. This is something that we don't just sell. We take it ourselves every day, and we take so many more than you do. And so if it's working for us, surely it will work for you.
We're not guessing at this, right? We trust God. We expect that the people who are coming to us are going to trust God. That's part of the process too. If you don't believe in God, you're not praying, you're not talking to God every day, then the enemy has the ability to seep into your mind and tell you this stuff ain't good for you. You shouldn't take herbs. You don't want to do that. It's just like the enemy telling you don't want to read the Bible. You don't want to go to church. You don't want to stop listening to that music. Well, if you keep listening to the enemy's going to control your life. And that's not what you want. So you got to make sure you're listening to the voice of God inside of you and doing what God tells you to do. Because God ain't telling you to give away herbs to somebody and you not taking them yourself. Like, God might be telling you to you take them and bless somebody else with them. But God is not telling you to not take herbs.
And when God speaks, you'll be so sure. You'll be so sure of his voice. You're not going to be wrestling back and forth. When you do all that wrestling back and forth in your head, so if you bottom and then you still wrestling back and forth, that's not God wrestling with you. That is the enemy, because when God speaks, he's commanding. He's telling you. He's not trying to convince you. The enemy's trying to convince you of something because all he can do is input an emotion to make you take yourself out. He can't stop nothing. And so you have to be stronger, and so we encourage you to be strong against the enemy today. Don't let no weapons prosper. Don't let those thoughts prosper in your mind, and don't be going back and forth with him. Tell him to shut up and keep it moving.
Oh yeah, and one more thing. Wait, hold on. If y'all don't like taking capsules, guess what? Powder form is here. All you gotta do is select powder form in the drop down box, and you will be able to get the powder form and all of our original complexes: Roots, Booster, Fight On Sight, Jack, and Juicy. Boom.
Yes. And just to let you know, these herbs are very, very bitter. And so the reason why it took us so long to even put the powder form on the market is because we did contemplate it, because I didn't want to add sugar. But I understand that some people cannot take capsules, so we did, and we did not add sugar. We added monk fruit, and so there is some monk fruit to make it palatable, because when I say these herbs are bitter, I want something that's going to sustain you. I don't want you to spend your money and be like, I thought I was going to be able to do this, but I can't do it. I don't want that for you. I want you to be successful in this journey. And so we put monk fruit in there, not a whole lot, but just some to make it a little bit more palatable. It's still a little nasty. I'm just gonna be real. These herbs are super bitter. Like, when I say bitter, they are bitter. So it's an acquired taste. But if you put it in a smoothie or something, or juice, you should be just fine, because it does have some monk fruit. I mean, I tested them out with water, and it was okay. I'm still doing capsules though. Okay.
It was okay. You can get it done. If that's the only way you can do it, right? Then you have to be able to get through that. You got to be able to do that. Put it in a smoothie, a fruit smoothie, you'll be just fine. But it does not taste good, right? It does not taste good. And that's how we started. We actually started by taking it in the powder form. And we got so tired of putting ourselves through that every day, we decided we needed a better solution. So we put them in capsules. And once we put them in capsules, God said, ding, that's what you need to do. This is the business I need you to start. This is how I need you to serve other people. That's when we started actually serving it to other people after we put it in capsule form. Because this is not good. They don't taste good. But if this is the only way you can take it, it's better than not being healed. So put it in a smoothie and you won't even be able to taste it.
Exactly. So don't forget to take your herbs today and stand up against the enemy. Have a good one.
Peace.